All right, we're about to dive into what looks like a guide on designing professional websites. But what if I told you the most important lesson in this guide isn't actually written in it at all? Let's take a look. So think about this for a second. How do you really take a huge, complex topic and break it down so someone can actually learn it? Well, this guide has let's say, a very unusual answer to that question. Just keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this.
So right off the bat, our source material makes a really clear promise. It sets a goal for anyone who decides to crack it open.
And here's the promise. You are going to learn how to design professional interfaces. I mean, you open this document expecting answers, right? A list of rules, some do's and don'ts. It's a simple, direct promise, and it's what pulls you in.
Okay, so with that promise firmly in mind, let's take a look at how the lesson itself is actually put together. How is this guide planning to deliver on that big promise? Let's, turn the page and see what the blueprint looks like. Okay, so let's look inside. We get to page 46 and, it's just a set of empty bullet points.
All right, maybe it's a fluke. Let's flip to page 47. And, nope, same thing. More bullet points, nothing else.
Page 48, yep, you guessed it. Again, just this structured, empty space. And page 49, I think you're probably seeing the pattern here, right?
And this goes on all the way to page 53. It's a perfectly organized, consistent, and completely blank framework. So what on earth is going on here?
This, of course, leads us to a pretty big and I think very obvious question. Where are the actual principles we were promised? Did someone forget to finish this thing? Is this a mistake? Or is the emptiness itself the entire point?
And here's the big twist. The document isn't empty at all. The structure is the lesson. See, it's not here to just give you the answers. It's designed to make you go find them yourself.
There's actually a name for this in education. It's called a learning scaffold, and it's a really powerful idea. Think about scaffolding on a building. It doesn't build the building for you, but it gives you the structure you need to get up there and do the work. This document is a blueprint, and it's telling you that you're the architect.
But this whole process doesn't just end once you fill in the blanks. The guide has one last, and I think absolutely critical instruction for us.
So after all of those blank pages, we finally get to the last instruction, and it's these two words, Takim Zati. That's Arabic for self-assessment.
And this right here, this is the key to real mastery. It's not enough to just go find the answers and write them down. You have to test yourself. Can you actually apply what you've learned? Could you explain it to someone else? That's when you know you've really gotten it.
So what does all this mean for us? Well, this document that looks totally empty is actually giving us a really powerful blueprint for how to learn pretty much any complex skill.
So here's the path it lays out. First, you have to identify your goal. Know what you want to learn. Second, you follow a structure. You create those empty bullet points for yourself. Third, you do the real work. You go out, you research, and you fill in that framework. And finally, and this is the most important part, you test your own mastery. Don't just consume information, create and then validate your own understanding.
So when you really think about it, this document was never meant to be a guide that holds your hand. It's a map. It shows you the shape of the knowledge, but it demands that you get out there and explore the territory yourself. And honestly, that kind of active, self-directed learning, that's the stuff that really sticks.
Which kind of leaves us with one last thought. If you were handed this map, this empty framework for learning web design, what's the very first principle you would go out, research, and write down on that first blank page? What's your starting point on this journey?